Did you say the mics are on right now?
Howdy, howdy. Welcome on into the pre-show before the free show, where apparently our host over there cannot hear.
I was
correctly.
just making sure. I was just confirming with my producer. That's all.
Were you able to confirm
last night,
it?
I was in the field in Pflugerville.
The Puff Field in Pflugerville.
And I need to give a shout out, first of all, to the wonderful people there at Pflugerville.
Yeah, how about them cookies?
Todd Raymond. That's what I was going to bring up.
Sorry.
Can I have one thing?
No! You did. Are the mics on? Payback.
Anyway, wonderful people at the field in Pflugerville. And, Todd Raymond, of course, the AD, but the whole, I do not, you know what, hold on, let me see if I can find her name real quick. We had, ISD school board. We had a woman after the game who came in and thanked us for coming and introduced herself as a member of the board of trustees. It was, her name was Verna Jean Mott.
Oh.
Verna Jean Mott came in and thanked us for coming and doing she said, I heard you guys were here. It was me and Craig White. I heard you guys were here, and I just want to thank you guys for coming and doing the game. I'm like, man.
Thank y'all.
This is awesome.
And we literally were the ones to call them saying, hey, can we do the game?
You guys did us the favor, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was a great time. And, one thing I appreciate about Pflugerville, we joke about how it's the Pfield, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's Pflugerville, Pfluger, and they really lean in that town into the silent P thing.
I told you our yearly UIL meet down there was the Pflugerville Pfling.
I love it. Well, last night we were surprised when we arrived to find that there were custom cookies there. Look at these. With the Dave Campbell's logo on it. Here you go, Pickle. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, here, I'll hold it up a little bit closer since I'm closer to my camera there. How cool is that?
Dave Campbell's cookies.
That's so awesome.
Very nice. They had them both in our location and also, out where all the food was. So, everyone else had to eat our food, had to eat our logo, which was great. It was so nice. And here's the real kicker. Did you see the name of the store that made them?
Yes, the bakery.
The bakery is called The Flower Shop. Pflour. That is, how we talk about mascots, sometimes you're given this beautiful gift and you just need to lean in, right? Like Frost is the polar bears. This is leaning in, and I love it. Well done, Pflugerville. Thank you so much for the hospitality. It was a lot of fun out there.
So LP was tuned into the game last night, and I was too. So every now and then we were texting different stuff about it.
Talking mess about the broadcast.
Basically. But I sent him the video that spoiler alert, there's a video of Craig eating one of the cookies for the vlog.
Yes.
And so I saved it and I sent it to him because I knew he would get a kick out of that. And so he put PF cookie. Everything that I said last night, he would always respond with something with PF before it.
It was great. It was a good time. Craig Wyan on.
Y'all did a great job, by the way.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was enjoyable to listen to. It really was.
So what I thought, okay, so if you didn't know, Weiss kind of ran away from Georgetown. They won 63-42. 42?
Yeah.
42,
yes.
Something like that. I think there were 105 point scores, so 63-42 tracks. And so they kind of ran away from them. The second half, we kind of got to have because, and as you know, you don't necessarily go and lock in on play-by-play whenever it's a 40-point lead or something like that. Got to have a little bit of a talk show. Got to have a little bit of high school football banter.
The ending of going through kind of division by division was...
We just kind of got to shoot the bull a little bit about high school football. And it was great. Craig is, of course, the GOAT. I tried to keep up, and it was a lot of fun. It was a good time out there. Thanks to Dre Matula, who was running the camera and kind of set that whole thing up. Thanks to our producer Johnny, who is a Balmorhea grad.
Yes.
I found out. So we made sure we sprinkled in some Balmorhea updates throughout the course of the night. It was a lot of fun, and it was great time down there in Pflugerville. And Craig and I certainly appreciated being there. I got to meet his broadcast partner on the Texas games. Roger Wallace was there.
Oh, did you really?
For KC, and I want to to say?
Yes. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, because they were broadcasting.
They were broadcasting that game, so I got to meet Roger Wallace, which was
that is so cool.
Yeah, it was great. So a lot of fun down there at the Field in Pflugerville, and I enjoyed some
that
cookies from the Flower Shop.
That was like premium Austin area treatment down there for you.
Yeah, it was very, very nice. So we appreciate our friends there in Pflugerville, especially, of course, Athletic Director Todd Raymond for helping making that happen and making us feel so welcome. All right, hit the Theme Expo. Pickle! Hit the air sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show online. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, texasfootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live on texasfootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, or you're listening to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local, mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She is the Duchess of the Dorks. She is about to head to where I was, kind of.
Further south, but yes.
Further south. She's Ashley Pickle.
Howdy.
How was your evening?
It was good. I was able to sit there and scroll through a ton of Texan live games, and that's become a real enjoyable thing for me to do on Thursday, kind of checking on how the guys are doing. And last night, everyone was spot on their broadcasting. I was really proud of everyone last night.
Even us?
And then there was you.
I was going to say, even Craig and I?
Well, Craig was fantastic. And then there was you.
I was also there.
You were also there.
I was also there. That's, You know how you talk about how you have an offense that's so good it can outscore its problems?
Yes.
I'm the defense. That's what I'm saying.
And I want to give one big shout out to our guy.
Shout out.
I need to make sure that I get his name. Will. I never know how to say his last name. Turboff, I believe is how you say it.
Sure.
He is one of our younger broadcasters down in Houston. I had the opportunity to meet him a couple weeks ago, but he got a chance to move from camera to call a game last night, and it was quite impressive.
Cool. Good work, everybody.
So shout out him.
Good job, Will. Today is Friday, November 5th, 2021, 20 days till Thanksgiving. I ordered my turkey yesterday. Did you?
I've had mine ordered, but yeah.
Yeah, I was speaking more to the royal you.
I was like, I sent you a screenshot of my turkey.
I know you did. Yeah, I know. Trust me, we share these things. It's fine. Those are important things. I don't actually care. If you were to go on like a date, I wouldn't want to know any updates about that. But the moment you order like green bean casserole, I need to know.
No, exactly what's happening.
Yes, I need those updates in my life. Happy birthday to, Odell Beckham Jr.
Okay.
What a birthday gift. Episode 1276. On today's show, guys, we're going to announce the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week, the Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Week, and then it's Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. We're going to answer your questions about high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, everything you got, anything you got. We're going to go until about 12:35 to answer your questions. Cool?
Cool.
Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Eagle Eye Homan, Rob Hadaway, Aaron Arbuckle, and Coach Terry Crawford.
I have an update. 10-0 district champion, Abbott Panthers.
Back to back.
How about that? I haven't lost a home game or a regular season game in like a million years. That's not true. I think they lost one in 2019.
Good on you, Coach.
Anyway, 10-0 Abbott Panthers. All right, Pickle. It's time to hand out the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week award. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, in conjunction with the Texas Bowl, is proud to present the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week award to the most deserving high schooler in the state of Texas. Every Monday at noon, TexasFootball.com announces 10 candidates for that week's award based on the previous week's on-field performance. We then leave it up to you, voting at TexasFootball.com. Commences throughout the course of the week, closes every Friday at noon, with the winner being announced shortly thereafter. Can you check your watch and tell me if it's shortly thereafter?
It is, in fact, shortly thereafter.
Your Week 10 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week is...
Drumroll. Boom!
Bang! Van quarterback Jackson Rainey went nuts in their win over Canton. 17 of 18, 301 yards, 5 touchdowns passing, another 220 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Congratulations to all the nominees. Katy Cinco Ranch quarterback Gavin Rutherford, Frisco Liberty quarterback Keldrick Luster, Mount Vernon running back Mackenzie McGill, Manor running back Quentin Joyner, Corpus Christi Miller wide receiver Lonnie Ackism, Pilot Point wide receiver Aiden Cox, Crowley running back Duante Baker, Tulia quarterback Trayvon McCaslin, and Seymour quarterback Braden Lloyd. But a very special congratulations to the Week 10 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week, Van quarterback Jackson Rainey. Very well-deserved young man. One more thing to do, Pickle. Dairy Max and Dave Campbell's Texas Football are proud to team up this year to honor excellence in coaching and the hard work that assistant coaches put in on behalf of their teams. Each week, the Texas football staff nominates 4 deserving assistant coaches for the Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Week and let fans decide on the winner via Twitter poll. It all leads up to the Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Year decided at season's end. Your Week 11, Week 10. Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Week is... Bang! Clear Falls defensive coordinator Destry Cope. The Knights defense forced a pair of turnovers and held district rival Clear Creek to just 215 total yards on offense in a critical 13-7 win over the Wildcats. Congratulations to all the nominees: Crandall offensive coordinator Kevin Brewer, Lubbock Estacado defensive coordinator Jeff Lidke, and Goliad offensive coordinator John Levas. But a very special congratulations to the Week 10 Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Week, Clear Falls defensive coordinator Destry Cope. Congratulations to you, Coach, and the entire Clear Falls community. All right, Pickle. We're going to get to Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday in just a moment. Let's do a little bit of Thursday cleanup if we could. Talk a little bit about that, can't we?
Absolutely.
You think we can talk what happened last
night? There were some big things that happened last night.
Oh, no. Last night was...
some monumental things that happened.
Last night was pretty big. Most notably...
Specifically on ESPN.
Most notably, they're on with our buddy, by the way.
We have friends.
We have buddies.
Okay.
A buddy of mine was working on the broadcast there. I'll tell you after the show. But anyway, last night, down goes number 2, Lovejoy, at the hands of Frisco Liberty. Final score last night was, if I can get this website to load. That's right. They played Thursday, so I got to matriculate over there. Final score last night was, oh my gosh, this is not good. Lovejoy. Where is it? There it is. There we go. 27-24. Lovejoy was driving for the lead, but give a lot of credit to Liberty. Keldrick Luster was a big problem for them. They were not able to contain him, and the Liberty defense did their part kind of holding them in check, held them to their lowest point total of the year. Fantastic win for Liberty. That does... So I need to check out the tiebreak situation. Mm-hmm. But I know that because Frisco beat Liberty, Liberty beat Lovejoy, Lovejoy beat Frisco. As a result, there's going to be a 3-way tie.
Yeah.
At the top. I believe my guess, just knowing how tiebreakers tend to work, would be that because Liberty really beat the pants off of Frisco, that they would be
points 4.
Let me rephrase.
Yeah.
Because Lovejoy beat the pants off of Frisco.
Yes.
Points 4 is probably going to end up still keeping him in the number 1 spot, but I do not know that for a fact. I need to check out the tiebreak after the show.
It's time to implement it.
It is time.
Katie Ingelson's great idea. Armadillo races.
That's what we need. 3-way tie armadillo races. So congratulations to Liberty. It's a huge win for Lovejoy. Maybe that shakes things up. Maybe that gives them that loss they need heading into the playoffs. Maybe. They still feel like the biggest threat to Aledo in Region 2, but certainly noteworthy. Also noteworthy last night in the 5A ranks. The game that Matt Stepp was at.
Yeah.
Lubbock Coronado 48, Amarillo Tascosa 29. Down goes the number 4 team in the 5A Division I ranks in Tascosa. A really impressive win from Lubbock Coronado, who fell behind early in this game but kept clawing back and eventually took this game over in the second half. What a win for DJ Mann and company. Just fantastic victory there for them. They clinch at least a share of the district championship. Unbelievable win for Coronado, for Tascosa. And again, a team that kind of felt like they might have been the favorite in Region 1.
Yeah.
Now, what does this mean? We'll have to see. I'm not ready to throw dirt on them after one game because you never know. Maybe they're just looking ahead to the playoffs. But at the same time, awfully impressive from Lubbock Coronado, a team that feels like they're peaking at the right time. Started off slow this year, but starting to play their best ball right now.
I genuinely wonder. There are some coaches that do focus on statewide stuff like that because they're junkies like we are, but then there's a lot of coaches that only focus on their region and stuff. But for those statewide guys, I wonder if they're kind of looking at those scores from last night and really reiterating to their team today, like, hey,
Hey.
just because it's the last week of the season and you think you have this thing wrapped up, you cannot come out here sluggish. Like, I feel like those two specifically really kind of wake some people up when they need it.
Angleton or Katy Pato beats Angleton 55-13.
God, it was like 42-13 at the end of the first. It was ridiculous.
In what we can only categorize as a get-right game for Pato, coming off of their first loss of the year, they certainly got right. Against that's a good Angleton team.
Yeah, it is.
They took them down in a big, big way. That was impressive. Of note in district play, we're sticking in 5A Division 1. San Antonio Lanier beats San Antonio Burbank. That is not necessarily an upset, but what it means is it gives us finally a little bit of clarity into that wild District 13 5A Division 1. So Lanier is in. Lanier has clinched a playoff spot. Now, if you are San Antonio Kennedy, who has not made the playoffs in a decade, all they have to do, if they beat San Antonio Memorial tonight, then they are in. They get in. That is the name of the game. It is now a win and in situation. Now, I believe there is a circumstance in which they can still get in with a loss.
But just go ahead and win and wrap up those ties.
Now, there was a situation where if they won, they were not guaranteed a playoff spot. If Burbank had beaten Lanier, they could have been held out based on a certain kind of tiebreak if other things had broken a certain way. But for now, for San Antonio Kennedy, they can make the playoffs. They are winning, and they control their own destiny now because Lanier has clinched a playoff spot with their win over Burbank. Elsewhere in the ranks last night, Abilene took it to San Angelo Central, 49-14. Arlington beats Arlington Bowie, 51-20. Kick them, as they say.
Kicking intensifies.
Kick them. Atascocita all over Beaumont Westbrook, 37-7. Yeah. And another game that you would categorize as a get-right game. It got very chippy in District 11 6A last night. DeSoto holds off Waxahachie, 31-25. Cedar Hill holds off Mansfield, 20-10. Those are basically holding firm. It's a weird district this year. Flower Mound Marcus beats Plano East. Let's see what else. Mansfield Lake Ridge beat Hewitt Midway 63-56 in the wild game of the night.
Something's got to get right down there.
And what else? Klein Oak beat Tomball Memorial 63-35. And let's see if there's any other games that I need to look at. Oh, Roseville beat Churchill 21-17. Good job, Roseville. In 5A Division 2, there was, of course, Huntsville. Okay. Huntsville comes back and beats Fulshire 24-22 to grab it from the fire and clinch a playoff spot.
In 3 overtimes, by the way.
3 overtimes. They're able to pull out the victory. Great win for them. Also of note, last night, did you see how the South Grand Prairie and Arlington Lamar game ended?
I did not.
Okay. So this is very interesting. So Arlington Lamar was playing South Grand Prairie.
They were up for a while. I do know that.
It ends up going to overtime. Okay? It ends up going to overtime. South Grand Prairie needed a win South Grand Prairie needed a win or a loss by 7 or fewer. Or 6 or fewer, rather, in order to win the game.
So you need to lose by a field goal.
Yeah, lose by less than a touchdown, basically. So this game goes to overtime, and then it goes to a second overtime. And here's the interesting part. It goes to a third overtime. And I'm not being funny. That is noteworthy because, Pickle, what happens in the third overtime?
It goes to just 2-point conversions.
So you can't win by 7.
No.
Ball game was over at that point.
Yep.
Like, functionally,
they could lose and it was
They
fine.
played out the string. South Grand Prairie ended up winning 12-10, but it didn't matter.
Right.
At that point, once they went to the third overtime, it was over.
And that's when you're going, just go, just hold them here.
And that's another interesting wrinkle for this year.
Yeah, because that hasn't been the case for a while.
For point differentials, you need to understand that, once you get to the third overtime, it's going to be 2-point conversions, and you cannot win by more than 2. I guess technically you can win by 4, right? If you were to score your 2-point conversion and then return a turnover for the other one, you could win by as many as 4. But if you need a touchdown, you can't do it. And even then, at that point, if you're the other team, don't you just spike it? Like, you're just like, okay, I'm not going to risk it. Throw it in the end zone or throw it out of the back of the end zone. So another wrinkle to keep in mind tonight as we enter the final Friday night of the regular season in Texas high school football. All right, Pickle, it's time for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday.
The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more.
If you got questions about high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, books, let us know in the comments. We're going YouTube today, right? YouTube and Facebook?
Yep.
Okay, YouTube and Facebook. We're going to try to start matriculating over to YouTube, but if you got one of those, let us know. Pickle, has anybody asked any questions?
Ton of stuff going on in the comments right now about whether...
Is it mostly nice?
Yeah.
Okay.
About whether...
Is it about our cookies? Look at that. That's so nice. Like, I know for a fact that, like, this isn't all that special in the sense that, like, it's not like somebody took it, like, by hand and was like, oh, I'm going to craft it in Dave. Like, they just printed it on there.
Yeah, but still.
I think it's super cool.
Well, I was just going to say, you've been here for, 11 years, and you've never seen a cookie with Dave Campbell's?
I've never seen a Dave Campbell's cookie. How about that? Thank you.
So cool.
Thank you, Flavor Velocity. Okay, go on.
The Flower Shop. About whether or not Cade Klubnik is playing tonight, and the answer to that question is yes.
Let's go to our insider, Ashley Pickle.
We did hear, it was in the comments the other day that Todd Dodge had said on Craig Way's show on the Horn that he was playing. I did talk to Coach Dodge yesterday morning and reiterated that and asked if it was true, and he said yes. He said without hesitation, he was like, he's healthy, he's ready to go. So yes, according to Coach Dodge, Cade Klubnik will be the starter tonight against Lake Travis.
From what I understand about the situation, they have had to hold him back, like in the sense of like he wants to go out there and play,
right.
And they've said, no, dude, like we need you to get right and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think they've reached a point where he is right enough that they are happy, they're okay sending him back out there.
Right, and I think that it'll hit a point tonight where if he starts to try to do too much and come back too hot, I think that you'll see him and Dodge on the sideline of Dodge kind of telling him, hey man, like you need to not try and do that right now. Like don't do too much.
So the other thing about this is interesting is he, like, if Dodge wanted to play pure long game here, there's no reason to play him tonight.
No.
None. Like, yes, it's a rivalry game, and I understand that everybody wants to win that game. But at the same time, it's like, why? Like, it doesn't... You have the number one seed in Division II locked up. Whether you beat Lake Travis by 150 or you lose to Lake Travis by 150, it doesn't matter. So... Obviously, this means something to him, and look, it probably means something to Cade Klubnik. I'm sure he was his own advocate. I'm sure he was lobbying on his behalf to go out there and play.
Well, the other thing that was funny too is I had talked to Coach Carter earlier this week too, and he was the one that basically he's got quite a few guys coming in specifically on the defense. They've got a defensive back and a defensive lineman coming back in from injury, so they've kind of ridden that injury bug a little bit throughout the season. So he was the one that said, I think I can speak for Coach Dodge and myself both on this one of the main goal for tonight's game is to not get anyone injured. Like I think they're both in that thing of if anyone starts to look like they're limping a little bit or hurting or in pain, they're not keeping their guys out there, either one of them.
No, I think I think they're smart. I think that's the way they probably ought to play it. And yeah, it's an interesting bit of gamesmanship, but obviously it sounds like he's going to play. Part of me also, there's a very, very, and Todd Dodge is a very trustworthy person. I want to be clear about that. Mm-hmm. There's a small part of me back here
that wonders if he's playing, and I wondered that. I really, really wondered
that. Believe it when I see it.
That's why I wanted to ask myself, even after he had said that, because I wanted to see how quick he responded, or if it was a, and he responded quick. So we'll see if he's just good at.
I guess we'll find out.
Pulling strings there.
All right, what's next, Pickle?
Let's go with, does Region 4, 5A Division 2 stand a chance against Region 3? And if so, who would that be?
I will say that they are underdogs. Okay, so here are the favorites in some sort of order in Region 4. Okay, it could be a team like the winner of tonight's game between Leander Rouse and Glenn. I'm sorry, Leander Rouse and Brenham, I should say. One of those teams. It could be Liberty Hill.
Yeah.
Right? Who, of course, is the reigning regional champion. It could be San Antonio Alamo Heights.
Let me say, don't bury Bernie Champion. I saw a really bad game that they played, but they were completely injury-ridden. Like, they've got a good team when they've got their guys in.
Bernie Champion is certainly a team to keep an eye on.
Marble Falls.
If you want to dream on a team from the Valley, maybe it's a team like Mercedes, right? Mm-hmm. That would be dreaming on a team from the Valley. So for me, I would say that, I would look at this game, or I would look at it and say they're going to be underdogs. Because Region 3, I think, is deeper. Region 3, I think, has more contenders.
Yeah.
But you only got to face one.
Yep.
Like, maybe it's Fort Bend Marshall, maybe it's Crosby, maybe it's Montgomery, maybe it's A&M Consolidated, maybe it's Texas High. But you only got to face one. Mm-hmm. I would say that they're going to be an underdog. Do they stand a chance? Yeah. Would I install them as an underdog? Yes. Functionally, like, if it was like, let's just pick two teams at random. If it was Fort Bend Marshall against Liberty Hill, okay? If it was Fort Bend Marshall against Liberty Hill, I would say that Fort Bend Marshall's a 2-touchdown favorite. That's me talking. That's just me saying that right now. That would be the way that I would view that game. We'll see. Strange things happen. Injuries happen. Things like that. You don't know. But right now, I would say Region 3 is a clear favorite over Region 4 and 5A Division 2. What's next, Pickle?
Let's go. Todd Gleaton wants to know, does China Spring get a challenge from Waco Connolly?
Connolly's... okay, here's what I'll say about Connolly. Okay, probably
no.
not.
I'm just gonna say no. I
just don't think that Connolly can keep up defensively.
No.
I think that Major Bowden's going to put on a show tonight. I think that's the biggest problem for them. I will say this: Connolly's got some cats. Connolly's got Trey Wisner, who's a monster. They've got him, and when you've got him, you're going to have a chance. I would say that China Spring's a clear favorite in this game to finish off a perfect regular season. But Connolly certainly has a couple of athletes that can give China Spring trouble. That is, for me, the biggest thing. So, yeah, I would lean towards China Spring in this one. Mm-hmm. What's next?
This is a really good question. If you're locked into the playoffs already and your last game is against a winless team, if you were the coach, how long would you play your starters?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a fair question.
And
I would play them into the third quarter.
It's so situational, too.
It is. It is.
Because just because you're playing a winless team doesn't necessarily mean that, like, the other, like, if you're trying to still win a district championship, it can go back and forth.
I think that let's put it this way. I think that this is my thing, and there's no honor among thieves, to be clear. But if there is any sort of playoff implication involved in the game on either side, I think you owe it to football Jesus to play the game straight.
Yeah.
Now, I would have a much quicker hook for my guys than I otherwise would. For instance, there may be games where you're up 34-0 and you keep your starters into the fourth quarter. I would probably have a quicker hook on guys. But I do believe that if that team that is winless has an opportunity to get into the playoffs, you owe it to football Jesus to play it straight until the game is in hand.
I'm sure football Jesus appreciates you.
I'm just saying, I think there's...
Like, thinking about what he would like.
I think there's just got to be some honor, you know what I mean? And I think that if you played it straight... Because the other thing you owe it to is you owe it to the other teams in your district that you certainly played it straight against, right? Mm-hmm. And if you are doing... You would then be doing the team that you're playing a favor by taking it off the gas pedal, right? Mm-hmm. I would say that you owe it, the football Jesus. Don't make him mad. He's a vengeful Lord. Mm-hmm. What's next, Pickle?
Let's talk about the biggest two games in Class 3A Division 2. One of those would be Childress and Canadian, and the other one would be Tulia and Spearman.
Yeah, same district too. Okay, well, we'll start with the big one, which is Childress and Canadian. So I made this point on Tep and Step, and I also made this point on Craig Way's show yesterday. On paper, there is almost no reason to pick Canadian in this game. Almost no reason. Mm-hmm. Childress is undefeated. Childress looks the part. Childress is rolling. Childress has the single individual best playmaker, in my opinion, in Colin Bishop. Childress has the better defense. Childress looks the part. There's no reason. And Canadian, by the way, very banged up. Canadian, 2 losses coming off of a rather substantial loss to Tulia, the aforementioned Tulia. There's no reason to pick Canadian in this game. Except the one small little thing, which is Childress ain't beat Canadian since 1999.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I think, 14 straight they've beaten them. Canadian has the deed to Childress. Okay, they own them. They are not just in their kitchen. They are redecorating the kitchen, making eggs, making pancakes, asking what you like for breakfast. They are owning Childress historically. This game's in Canadian. This is a mental game for Childress. I'm comfortable saying that they're the better team, right? Mm-hmm. They've shown themselves to be the better team. But does that matter? That's the real intrigue in this game. I picked Childress, but this is very dicey here, I would say. The other game, Tulia and Spearman, is a huge game with major playoff implications. Assuming Friona beats Highland Park, Amarillo Highland Park, which I think is a pretty fair assumption. I think Friona is going to be a pretty heavy favorite. The computer has them as a heavy favorite in that game. Then Tulia and Spearman becomes a straight-up playoff game. Winning in, losing out. Tulia is right in the heater right now. They've got the big win last week over Canadian. If they play like that, then they're not going to have any trouble. My question is going to be, can that offense continue to cook the way that it did? I thought their quarterback, Trayvon McCaslin, was on one last week. If he has a big game like that, then they're going to be very dangerous. I lean towards Tulia in that game. I think that I'm going to ride the hot hand, even on the road at Spearman. But that game's a coin flippy type game. I'm very interested in that one. For Spearman, their defense has been probably the best part of their team. Can they get that offense in gear? And if this game gets into a shootout, they're probably not built for that. So that's a big question for me. I like Tulia in that one. I'm going to ride the hot hand. I guess I like Childress, although I don't feel good about it historically. What's next, Pickle?
Where do you know where anyone could get brackets for taps?
Yeah,
I know we don't do them.
Taps' website has them.
Okay.
It's taps. They have a weird ending to their. I mean that in a nice way.
EDCU.
No. It's taps.biz. I knew it was weird. Yeah, it's taps.biz. You can find the brackets over there. In fact, if you go to taps.biz/brackets, you can go there. They've got all the brackets up for 6-man football, 11-man football, and field hockey.
Ooh.
So there you go.
Dave Campbell's Texas field hockey.
I don't think that's got legs. I'm gonna be honest. Have you ever watched field hockey?
Not really.
There's a weird thing that you can only use one hand on the stick, I want to say.
What? I don't think that's correct.
I don't know how field hockey's played.
That sounds like cricket or something. I don't know.
No, you can use 2 hands on the bat in cricket.
Okay.
We're experts, as you can tell.
The start of Dave Campbell's Texas field hockey's going real well, man.
What's next, Pickle?
Okay, let's talk some college football. If you're Steve Sarkisian in Texas football, how does your mindset look heading into the rest of the season after blowing 3 double-digits leads in a row? I don't know. Finish?
Well, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Right? And it's one of those things that what you've got to fight against is the here we go again, right? That's going to sweep over your sideline. Because it felt like it swept over the sideline last week. I thought Texas was better than Baylor last week. For long stretches of that game until suddenly Baylor took a little bit of momentum and Texas kind of looked around and goes, oh, well, this is where we lose the game again. Yep. You got to fight against that. That's the biggest thing. Winning cures all. You didn't hear about these issues whenever they were winning. If you go out there and you beat Iowa State, which I think they're more than capable of doing, they go up there and beat Iowa State, then suddenly a lot of those problems kind of dissipate. I think a lot of this comes down to establishing the run with Bijan Robinson. I think it comes down to Casey Thompson taking care of the football and the defense getting off the field on third down. That's just been the biggest thing for them. Is they're giving up too many 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 3. Put them in 3rd and uncomfortable, especially Iowa State, who's not built to convert those types of things. Yeah, I mean it's a huge game. I will just say this: they're 4-4 right now. The difference between 5-4 and 4-5 is only one game, but it feels a lot bigger, right? Feels like it's a bigger game. So keep an eye on that. I would say a lot of it just comes down to whether or not they can keep the same game plan and keep it moving and jump out to a big enough lead. Or maybe they're just a kind of team that they need to play from behind.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Anyway, what's next, Pickle?
Who is the greatest threat to LBJ in their region?
Yeah, so LBJ is a team we haven't talked a ton about, and of course the number 1 team in 4A Division 1.
It's got to be, one of the Cal Allen.
I guess Cal Allen. I think Cal Allen's pretty flawed.
I think Miller's flawed too, to be honest with you.
I think Miller's flawed because I don't think Miller can play any defense. They can score.
PLC.
But but also remember, LBJ beat Miller last year, right? I would say maybe, the 3 would be Cal Allen, Miller, and Bernie. I don't know. Bernie's interesting. Bernie's a little bit of a sleeper in my opinion. They're a team that I think because they have their quarterbacks. Blanking on the quarterback's name. Rashawn Galloway. Rashawn Galloway's been really good for them. They're kind of flying under the radar a little bit. I like this Bernie team, but I think that LBJ's got to be the favorite in this one. Cal Allen, I guess because of the pedigree, is probably the chief challenger, but Bernie may in fact be the second best team in that region. Overall, I don't know. I would say it's Cal Allen or Bernie would be my teams. I just don't. I love Miller. I love what Lonnie Atkinson does. I love what that new quarterback brings to the table.
I think they would just get gassed by LBJ.
I just think the problem is that how are they going to get him off the field?
No,
I just don't know. And LBJ is going to get 3 stops and the game's over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because their defense would literally just be out there forever.
I'll say this: last night at the Pflugerville-Weiss game against Georgetown, that's kind of what happened.
Yep.
Is Pflugerville-Weiss's defense was giving up these long drives, but Georgetown turned the ball over 4 times, and Weiss scored on their first 9 possessions.
Yep.
So it was just over from there. And so that's kind of what I would say is that you look at a team like LBJ, they're going to be able to get 1 or 2 stops, and then can Miller can Miller get any stops?
Do anything.
Literally, that's going to be what's the stop rate? Is it 0%? Because if it's 0%, the game's already over. All right, let's do 2 more.
2 more. Let's go with. Have you ever been to an MLS game?
Yes, I have. I've been to an FC Dallas game up in Frisco. It was fun. I liked it.
It's a good time.
Max Thompson has hot takes on MLS.
Yeah, I know Ish loves going to the games.
Yes, Ish likes rooting against Austin FC because he's a petty man,
yes.
And I support him in that. Yes, I have been. I think they're fun. It's nice entertainment. It's a Toyota Stadium up there in Frisco. It's a really nice place to watch a game. Quality of play. As somebody who roots for a team in the championship, I shouldn't be criticizing quality of play, but the quality of play is subpar. But you know what you pay for.
And then finally, this is a good ender. What potential first-round games are you most excited about?
Oh, excuse me. We talked about 3A Division 2 and that kind of Region 1. What you've got to do is you've got to look at the strength of districts next to one another because, and start there. So District 3, 3A Division 2, and District 4, 3A Division 2. 3A Division 2 is Childress, Canadian, Friona, Tulia, Spearman, in some sort of order. District 4 is Lubbock, Roosevelt, Abernathy, Idalou. Coahoma is going to be 3rd place, presumably. Or maybe... No, I presume Coahuma's beating Reagan County. I don't know. Might be Stanton. That's not here or there. So... You're going to have a couple games there. I think another game to keep an eye on next week, I think we're going to get DeSoto and Killeen Harker Heights. And I think Harker Heights can win that game.
What about your most precious H-Town boy, the Woodlands versus Spring?
Woodlands versus Spring is going to be a lot of fun. Big
Let
test for
me
Bishop Davenport
throw
Company.
out a 9-1-5 game for you that I think would fly under the radar. I think Canutillo and El Paso Jefferson has some, because Canutillo would be the clear-cut favorite, but Jefferson, they've got something brewing over there. This will be their first time in the playoffs in a long time.
Jefferson's going to play with a lot of
underdog mentality.
pea and vinegar.
Yeah.
Let's say they're going to come out there and they're going to be riding high, especially if they can. They get Andrus tonight. If they can come out with an upset win and go in flying high, they're going to feel like they can beat anybody. The question is going to be on the defensive side because Cantillo's defense has been so good. But yeah, I think that's a game certainly I'll keep my eye on. And yeah,
what was the one down in the valley we were talking about for the first round?
Oh,
that would be really great to send a valley reporter to.
Yeah,
some
pushing for that, aren't
some
you?
blonde girl.
I believe it's going to be Edinburgh Vela. No,
yeah.
Hold on. Is that right? Yeah, Edinburgh Vela and San Benito.
That sounds like a banger. I mean, just throwing that out there.
Edinburgh Vela and San Benito could be a lot of fun.
It could be.
Yeah, you also get Harlingen South and PSJ North, which could be fun. I think. It's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Please watch Bally Sports Southwest tonight, starting at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
I guess watch it all the time. I probably should say that.
Yeah.
And watch that.
We're on there.
Anyway, one more thing. Good troops. Beat Air Force.
There you go.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. For the incomparable Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please give your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you Monday for Bracket Breakdown on Texas Football Today.